Refrigerator Raider. Yeah. What was your name again? Liz. Nice to meet you.
We've been
I'm
friends
Bo.
since we were like 18.
No shit.
Yeah.
College buddies?
Yeah.
Nice.
Famous Spencer, and it was just.
Back when I was straight, Spencer.
But he was always famous to you.
Deep in my heart.
Where do you guys live now?
She lives in Atlanta. I live in San Francisco.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you went to Duke as well? You
Yeah.
guys both went to Duke.
2016. Yeah,
Nice.
graduated. Yeah.
So
2 or 3
I
years ago.
was looking a little bit about, I saw a picture of you in front of a giant, like a studio-looking sound system, and I'm totally into sound. We actually talk about that a lot on the podcast.
Nice.
So, what did you write? You kind of have more knowledge than just music.
Of the my thesis that I worked
Yeah.
on. Yeah,
Tell me
that's
about that for a minute.
I worked on an omnidirectional speaker, basically a speaker that radiates sound in all directions, and I was trying different configurations and like doing all the math basically first, and then we put it to the test and saw if dual cap, like two radiating points, or like 12 the dodecahedral model. We like did various tests, and then I tested it in a perfectly soundproof chamber, an anechoic chamber, and got all the results and figured out what would work better for like a potential commercial model of the type of thing. But then I decided to just make music full time.
That sounds like some smart shit, dude.
Yeah,
You said,
I studied electrical and computer engineering, and I did comp sci, and I was like doing signal processing stuff. But it's like, yeah, I'm a huge nerd, but I was like, if I don't go for music now, I'm not gonna ever have a music career. Basically, if I just start in my like engineering grinding startup life, I'm not gonna go back to music. So I was like, it's like, ask my family, can I have like 6 months at home and try to make music happen, and then moved to San Francisco, and I still couldn't pay the bills, and then just worked my ass off, and now we're touring, and I'm grateful.
Yeah,
it's
man.
great.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And we kind of just jumped right into it, but I do want to thank you for kind of taking the time with us. We appreciate it.
Of course, of course.
Before your show, I know I'm an artist myself. I know you know nothing about me, but I kind of like to decompress kind of before shows sometimes, and so for you to come on in here,
Yeah,
is
no
great.
worries at all.
Let us know if you need anything. Yeah, whatever. We got what you need. But we're down to talk about tetrahedrals too. I like being nerdy with sound too. I really I like listening to sound out at clubs at wherever I am. Really, I think
Yeah,
it's really cool.
100%.
But I've been listening to your music for a little bit now, and then knowing that I was gonna come see you tonight and get a chance to talk to you, I kind of dug a little bit deeper. And as I would say a electronic music connoisseur, your music is legit, dude.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Very, very critical. Must say that it's stand out.
Oh, thank you.
So I can tell, by the way, for people listening right here, that if this is you're listening because you know the Liquified podcast and you don't know Spencer Brown, you're for sure going to know him later. So this is like quite the opportunity to sit down and talk, because he's going to be one of those people where all the people here are going to be like, oh, remember when he played that place District? It was so small, and there was like just a couple hundred people, and now he only plays festivals and his tickets cost like $300 to see. So like I can tell that that's going to happen to you. So I don't want to look back on this time and be like, oh, why did I talk about tetrahedrals the whole time? And I don't want to get into things like interview questions. I kind of want to know what you want to people to know.
I think the thing is, it's been like this for day one since me, where I have always sort of tried to just focus on my own music. I think there's so much stuff out there right now that, if you get up there, and I think there's definitely something to be said about people who can find amazing records and like put together a set, and I respect that tremendously. But the more and more, I was doing this more full time, and then it became full time. I'm like, if people are coming to my set, I have to play my music, you know, and I want to play my music. So now I just construct sets of my own music. So now I just, like tonight, I have maybe 120 records I'm coming in with, and I think maybe 20 are released, maybe 30, I don't know. And then I'm just gonna wing it. I have no idea what I'm gonna play, and that's how it is every set. Like, so every set is completely different, and I have people coming in like set after set after set, and it's completely different night to night. I couldn't tell you what my first track is tonight. I have no clue, you know, because I don't really know what the vibe's going to be like.
Your
or
brownie
anything.
point meter is just racking up for all the DJs right now. It's like,
But the thing is, it's all my own music, so I know, you know, what mixes into what really well, and I know what I make some percussive intros and some percussive outros, so I can transition a key into something else. And like if it's not working, then I'll just go to the studio, and I have my laptop which I just work on. So I just tweak it on my laptop on the flight the next day, and then I can play it the next day, and it works the way I wanted it to work. So it's like, it's this constant process of working just on the go, like in a hotel room or like on a flight or something, and then trying it out that night. Like I have some stuff tonight I've never played before, and then see how that works. And like if it's not working, you know I need to go tweak it. And if it's working great, then I can kind of lay it to rest and just continue playing it, and then try to prep it for bigger sets that are getting like recorded and stuff. Like Ultra's coming up in a couple weeks, so I'm trying to get like kind of some of the biggest tracks, biggest reactions of my sets together. And for Ultra, I'll definitely plan Ultra a little more than like a club set. I'm still gonna wing it, but I'll know generally a few big moments in the set that people have never heard before, because that's gonna go online, and then everyone's gonna, you know, rip it off and put it on YouTube and stuff. But I want those to be good, you know, not like a testing a track at Ultra and then everyone thinks, you know,
That's incredible, man. I'm actually headed to Ultra, and I also noticed that you're going to be playing a day pool party. Is that right? Before Ultra or no?
Technically, I don't know what we're legally allowed to announce, because there's something called a radius clause in Ultra. So like, we're just playing Ultra for now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I'll try to slink around and listen around Miami and try to hear your music that I don't even know, because every time I try to Shazam it, it just says ID on there.
Yeah.
But that's a thing about you. So you have so much unreleased stuff, and with someone like you that creates it, and obviously if you're just going in there winging it, you're kind of feeding off the energy of the room. So I can only imagine how incredible that formula must be to get the energy in the room kind of like unlike anything else really. And I feel like you're just getting started really. I mean,
yeah,
gosh.
I think like if someone is trying to make it in the industry, again, there's like so many amazingly talented people that I just see day to day and see online and stuff. And I think a great way to really make a name for yourself is by playing your own music in sets. And I think just like constructing these sets of journeys of your own stuff, that's what stands out to me. Like when I'm seeing, you know, artists who are, you know, playing sets and it's full of their own music and there's a lot of cool stuff, you know, I'll hit them up and like maybe work on a track with them or something. Like I'm constantly just like surveying the landscape for that. Like someone who can create, not, as Jono once told me, it's like not one, Jono from Above and Beyond, sorry, I have to clarify. He looks for people not who can create one record or two like really big records, and then it's like they can't really follow that up. You want someone who can create like 10 amazing records and then 20 amazing records and 30, and you just know every time they're going to touch something, it's going to be really, really good. And that's what I keep my eye out for when I'm like looking for people to, you know, work with or whatever. I've worked with some people who are completely undiscovered because I just see the unbelievable talent and then help them out as much as I can.
So it is exactly that, an unbelievable talent. And I want to know kind of like where that comes from. Like why, what is the DNA in that type of person? Like where did you get that from?
Well, for me personally, I've been in music since I was born, really. Like when I was barely able to walk, I would lay out all the pots and pans on the ground in the kitchen and then like drum, like when I could just crawl, you know. So it's like I've always loved music. I would just sit for hours on end in the family room when I was like 2 or 3 years old, just going through CDs and tapes that my parents had and just sitting there messing with EQ settings on the little the box there. So it's like it's always been just kind of a passion, more than a passion, just like my life really since I was a toddler. So I was a drummer all my life. I would sit in jazz clubs, like jazz restaurants, when I was like 7, 8 years old, like just playing drums. And I took up guitar and bass and piano and I don't know. I started to be able to play all these different instruments. I'm like, you know what? Like, I want to write my own stuff because I can do all these things. So I'll just like be a one-man band kind of thing. So I'd record myself playing drums, record myself playing piano, record myself playing guitar. That's how I got into music production when I was maybe like 11 or so, maybe 12. I was like kind of doing all these recordings on a little basic 4-track mixer. And then I discovered like hip hop around that time, like 12, 13. Then I started trying to make hip hop beats. And then out of that, I discovered electronic music maybe like when I was 14, like when I was going into middle school, or right out of middle school into high school. That's when I was like, dance music is dope. This is what I need to do.
Have you done a lot of these podcast type of interviews before?
I've done some, yeah, here and there. I think it's fun to just chat.
Okay, cool. I don't want to, I'm just really curious about what you like doing about everything. Like, are you more of do you enjoy the music making process more? Do you enjoy the performance aspect of it? Do you enjoy the whole everything?
I obviously love making the music. I think for me, it's one and the same. It's the same thing for me. Like I make the music to play at a show, and I love playing shows. It's like separately, I always made music all my life, but I also took up DJing when I was like 12 or 13 because I would go to like these like 7th grade parties, and the music the guys were playing at the party I would just hate. I'm like, I could do this way better than these guys. So that's why I took up DJing. Like I was like always sick of, we would go to all these school parties and like bar mitzvahs and stuff, and then it's like,
was that in San
what
Francisco?
Is this guy? No, I lived in Dallas at the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
How long have you been in San Fran?
I'm from the Bay Area. Then I moved to Newport Beach when I was 9, and then I moved to Dallas when I was 13, and then I graduated from college when I like 2016. So I moved in 2016.
Do you watch basketball?
I don't so much. I just like
Whoa.
all my time is on.
You went to Duke.
Well, I watch Duke basketball.
Okay.
I don't
Yeah,
watch like basketball
yeah.
in general. Like
Nice.
yeah, but yeah. What was I saying? I started DJing because I hated the music they were playing, and then I just kind of built a business in Dallas, and like all the moms of like all my friends would hire me for their little stupid things, and then just was playing these 7th grade birthday parties for many years, and then I started playing like high school parties. Like that was crazy, like. And then I started DJing frat parties, and then I went on tour with Avicii. So it was like
yeah, man.
It's a bit of like a bit of
ridiculous.
a different experience there. Yeah.
Yeah, I got to meet Tim for a minute there. I was working at Guitar Center Hollywood, and I mentioned that because I lived right next door to a Sound nightclub.
Yeah, nice.
And
Just there last week or 2 weeks ago or so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So to me, that's always been one of my favorite clubs. I don't know if they named it Sound because of the sound, but it sounds incredible there.
It really does.
I think. Do you know if they still have that Pioneer system there?
I'm not sure what system they have, but whatever it is, I go for fun when I'm in LA. Like if I'm in LA for a free night, I'll probably go there a lot of the time. Yeah.
Where was your first large gig? Like, have you played? You went to Sound, right?
Yeah, I went to Sound
Before
3 days
you
after I
started
turned
DJing?
21.
Okay.
But I'd been to like gigs like 18 plus stuff before that, and even before that, like some other things. When I was like 16, I would like go to like, oh, raves are cool, But yeah, that Sound was the first like nightclub per se that I legally went to. Not saying I did anything else, but I went to Sound. Yeah, like when I turned 21, I went to Sound. A club we had at Duke was 18 plus, so I was going there all the time. Yeah, but it's not dance music at all. It's like not really for me, but the experience was fun.
Right.
Yeah.
Is there anything at the time going on in where's Duke? Raleigh or
It's
Durham?
in Durham.
Or
Yeah, it's
Durham?
right next to Raleigh.
Raleigh. I think people get pissed when you call it Raleigh. Raleigh. It's Raleigh. Was there anything going on there as far as dance music goes, or?
I was trying to kind of
She went there.
yeah, I was trying to kind of make the scene there, kind of, with a couple of my friends, because I found, you know, a couple like-minded people who like loved dance music so much. So I started bringing it. Why? I'm sure it came a lot of different ways, but I tried my best to bring it to school via, you know, the frat parties and the like end of year parties and the just any way I could expose more people to it, I would. So then I played like you know, all sorts of things there, and then I started throwing these raves by like junior year, senior year. It's like 30, 40 people we've kind of gotten together who love, you know, house and techno like a lot. And then I would play like a 12-hour set like in our living room from like, I don't know, like 10 p.m. till 10 a.m. generally was like the hours of our parties. It was really fun times, but yeah.
So, yeah, totally. So you've basically just had it since you popped out the womb. You've been just doing it.
It's just fun at the end of the day. I don't really think about like job or career or like any of that. It's just I'm just having fun. Like I would just be in the studio in my free time. So
Right.
it's lucky that it's my work too. You know.
Yeah, and I get that you appreciate that, and I think that's just one of the more reasons why it's so awesome to be,
Thank you.
you know, here with you. But I know we got to get out of here quick, but I do want to say the podcast is sponsored by Deep Eddy Vodka, which is what I'm drinking right now. So I do kind of want to get deep with you real quick. I want to know, like, obviously you started playing like drums at 2. You said the pots and pans, and you obviously have eat, sleep, breathe music.
Barely sleep.
Yeah, I want to know kind of like, where do you think that comes from? Do you think God has created you to do that? Do you think you are a program that is just you're going to just go on and do your thing? Or like, where does it all come from, man?
I'm not sure. I think it was just like my earliest memories were all music related, but it used to be a huge distraction for me. Like it used to be like I have music playing in my head 24/7, like no matter what, like constantly. It's like usually a loop, maybe 5, like when a song's stuck in your head, but like it's something's always stuck in my head and it's really loud. And so it used to be like an annoyance when I was trying to like study and do my work and stuff, but it was like that since I was like 3 years old, so I didn't think it was weird until I was like 17. It's like, wait, does everyone like have music blasting in their heads constantly? It's like, no, like that's a bit, you know. But yeah, I think I just kind of took that, whatever that is, like some like OCD form of some sort, and then made a job out of it, I guess. It's like.
So do you think that's just your like a destiny and bestowed upon you by a higher power, and that's what your path is?
Yeah, I guess so. Like, it's not something I ever thought about doing. It was just something I've done since I was born, really, yeah.
Well, I'm really excited to hear you play tonight. 2 more questions before you go. One's from me personally. I noticed you have a song called Bill Graham.
Yeah.
Who is Bill Graham?
So that track, I was playing a show with 7 Lions and Kill the Noise, and it was like that tour they were doing. And I live in San Francisco, so there's a venue in San Francisco called Bill Graham. It's like an 8,500 cap. It's a huge, huge, huge venue. And I was in my studio that day. I was about to go work out, and then I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna make a track before this set so I can like play something new tonight. So then I made that track. And it was initially called Should Be Working Out, but then I was like, that's not a very good name, you know? So then I was like, oh, I'm playing it at Bill Graham tonight, so I called it Bill Graham. That's
awesome.
Pretty random.
Do you know who Billy Graham is?
Yeah, I've like
Okay.
Yeah. Unrelated, unfortunately.
Cool. Well, we'll let you go, but I do want to know what you're most excited to play tonight.
Let's think. It's probably something off. I'm working on my next album right now, so I have another album coming out, even though I just released one. So it's like I just have a bunch of music.
And you're gonna mix it too, huh?
Yeah, it's gonna be a mix album. So
your brownie point meter is all the way up to
yeah.
that
So
JBL
it's like
speaker.
probably something off there. Trying to get those mixes sounding right. There's a couple kind of higher energy tracks I'll play at peak time tonight, because I start my sets a bit deeper. I don't like smash them out at the start, and
I
then
think that's great. That's the journey, man.
Move
that's
it
why
up
you're so good.
around like
DJs take notes.
1:30. It's gonna I don't know,
Yeah.
115. I can't tell because I don't know what the crowd's like, but like at some point in the 1 area,
They're
1
here
to
for you,
130,
man.
it's going to be starting
Yeah.
to pump a little harder. Yeah.
Yeah, I got. What's your favorite instrument? I need to know. Like
Drums.
what instrument is featured the most on your new album? Like soft synths,
Oh.
like hardware synths.
I tried to kind of do things differently than my first album, like Illusion of Perfection. I don't know. There's all sorts. There's just like new things. Like I think if you're trying to like do what you already did, there's no magic in that. So I'm like, it sounds like me for sure, but it's maybe even a little more melodic than, I mean, last album was, it's very melodic. Like my techno stuff I prefer to release with Mousetrap, like Dead Mouse. So it's not so much, I mean, there's some techno bits in there, but it's not like hard stuff. I prefer, Mousetrap does an amazing job getting the techno stuff out there, like.
So you don't like love the Prophet or the Dave Smith or any of
I
that
just
stuff?
use my laptop, just like random stuff on my laptop, like built-in Logic plugins, and yeah, I don't really,
Awesome.
nothing fancy.
Well, that's fancy, man. You're fancy, and we're all fancy here. And thanks everybody for listening. Thank you guys for being here, and thanks for taking the time, dude.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
can't wait to
Thanks for
see you
having
in
me.
Miami. I'm gonna
Appreciate
be the dude with, I don't know what I'm gonna say, but anyways, thanks a lot. We'll see you guys later. I'm looking forward to it. We'll be down there front row, dude.
Cool, sounds
Peace
good,
out.
man.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.